where should they go? In this video, we will talk about what the future of the Trans Pennine Express Nova 3 could be. After the recent news about Trans Pennine Express withdrawing the Nova 3 from service in the December 2023 timetable change, this made me think about where they should go, since they probably have 25 to 35 years of life left in them. Let's explore which train operating companies could take them. I am only considering using them to replace other local hold services. The train operating companies that we will be considering are Chiltern Railways to replace and enhance the silver sets, Great Western Railway to replace the Castle sets, also known as Class 255, London North Eastern Railways to supplement the Class 225, ScotRail to supplement the Inter-7 cities, and finally Transport for Wales Rail to replace and enhance the Mark IV coaches on the Premier service. Here are some general points which covers all of the train operating companies featured in this video. They are that local hold trains often are slower at accelerating than multiple units, but this is not always the case, for example the East Anglia short set. Another one is the single point of failure for most local hold services apart from ones that use old British Rail high-speed trains. The single point of failure is also an advantage since it permits quicker fault finding, which means the train can return back to service faster. If a line is electrified, you can swap the loco out for an electric one. Let's start off with Chiltern Railways and the Nova 3 replacing and enhancing the silver sets services. The Nova 3 would require reforming, which would reduce the available number of sets from 13 5-coach Nova 3 down to 8 sets of 7-coach trains to replace the 7-coach silver sets. I am not counting the use of driving trailers in the middle of trains, and also I am not counting on them being able to be converted into coaches where you can walk from one end to another to change from the coach behind to the coach in front. This would still be enough to replace all 6 silver sets which currently operate with Chiltern Railways. Both the silver sets and Nova 3 have the same maximum speed of 100 miles per hour. With the Nova 3 replacing the silver sets, you would lose the buffet, but considering it is only a 90-minute journey, that should not be missed too much. The Nova 3 have better crashworthiness than the silver sets. The noise level should be pretty similar since you would keep on using Class 68 locos. This would mean that DRS would get an extra 6 locos back, which would no longer be out on a long-term loan. Now time to move on to Great Western Railway. The Nova 3 could replace the Castle set diagrams almost like for like. What this would mean is that there would be no net loss in services, and also there would be an increase in capacity since you would be going from 4 coaches to 5 coaches, which would reduce overcrowding in the summer. Also, I would expect the Class 68 to be able to maintain the Castle set's timings to a good level. It might require a small amount of retailing to improve the timeliness of the service. The Nova 3 would be more environmentally friendly than the Castle sets, and also they have better crashworthiness than the Castle sets. Both the Castle sets and Nova 3 both have the same maximum speed of 100 miles per hour. Some people might say the diesel engines are loud, but I can't see them being any louder than the Castle sets. I would expect it to be quieter since there is one less engine. Also, this would make it harder to operate from the fair amount of the East Coast Railway. Also, there would be an increased staffing and operations cost for having the Nova 3S and Intercity 225 in service together for a long period of time. Also, there would only be enough coaches for 6 sets if you went for an equal number of coaches on each train, which would be 9. There would be insufficient Nova 3 to replace the Intercity 225 fleet in full, so only a partial replacement could take place. Also, the Nova 3 do not have a buffet, whereas the Intercity 225 do have a buffet. This would mean the Nova 3 would have a worse service level when compared to the Intercity 225. To supplement the Inter-7 cities. There would be insufficient Nova 3 to replace the Inter-7 cities fleet in full, so only a partial replacement could take place. Also, there would be increased staffing and operations costs for having the Nova 3 and Inter-7 cities in service together for a long period of time. Both the Nova 3 and the Inter-7 cities have the same max speed of 100 miles per hour. Some people might say the diesel engines are loud, but I can't see them being any louder than the Inter-7 cities. I would expect it to be quieter since there is one less engine, and also they have better crashworthiness than the Inter-7 cities. However, there might be a capacity reduction on the Nova 3 compared to the Inter-7 cities. Also, the Nova 3 go against the Scottish Government's net zero goals. Finally, moving on to Transport for Wales Rail and using the Nova 3 to replace and enhance the Mark IV Premier service. There would be enough Nova 3 to replace and enhance the service pattern on the Premier service. However, the Nova 3 can only do 100 miles per hour unless the loco gets changed for a higher speed loco like a Class 67 or 93. The current Premier service can run up to a max speed of 125 miles per hour. The Nova 3 do not have a buffet, unlike the Premier service, which could be considered as a downgrade. I would expect the noise level would be pretty similar to the current Mark IV Premier services. After looking at all the information, I think that the Nova 3 would be best to replace the Great Western Railway's castle sets. This is because they will provide a better service level compared to now. Also, they will be able to increase capacity and also maintain the current service pattern. I don't feel that they should Chiltern Railways because of the uncertainty over whether they would be replaced by Chiltern Railways' new trains on order and would be a downgrade from the silver sets. I don't feel that they should go to London North Eastern Railway because the Intercity 225 provides a better service and would be a downgrade. I don't think they should go to Transport for Wales Rail because they would be a downgrade in terms of max speed and level of service, since you would lose the buffet. I don't think ScotRail should take them because of the soon-to-be withdrawn East Midlands Railways 222 would better fit into the Scottish Government's climate targets, as well as they would be better able to deal with the Scottish rail network. If the soon-to-be withdrawn East Midlands Railways 222 are not going to meet the Scottish Government's climate targets, then I would suggest they go and order a fleet of around 30 to 40 British Rail Class 802 made by Hitachi to replace the Inter-7 cities. Thank you for watching this video made by a train spotter from Berkshire with some video footage provided by Anthony Ferneville with permission. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to a train spotter from Berkshire, and make sure to hit the notification bell.